dance between the lines of life and the lives of others. We are not alone. We are together. CrossBones to a higher place, close enough to realize the mysteries before your eyes. Forget and tell you what to see and what you should be. Home is where the family lies. You rest with them until you die. You live the very best your family can provide. We are not alone. We dance between the lines of life and the lives of others. We are not alone. We are together. CrossBones to a higher place. Thank you very much.
ANA SEFEROVIC. Come and give us a poem in English. Anna, of course, is a Serbian poet, and she's a South London poet, a poet of the Elephant and Castle, and that kind of displacement and reconnection that your work can inspire many of us, just a few of us, holding forth now. So I'm just, can somebody give me a time check? Quarter to 2. We traditionally begin the vigil on the stroke of 7, but this may be the night. This is the 156th consecutive vigil. It might just be the night we are allowed to slightly break our own rule. We'll see. We'll see what the spirits tell us here, because it's so beautiful being with you all in this garden right now. And I'm going to sing a song that doesn't directly come from the goose. It's actually written to honour my beloved Chaos, who's already organising the road block, even as we speak, always working behind the scenes, and who really is too often forgotten in the work that allows us to be here. I'm the limelight man. Katie actually does the work. So whether it's words or not, let's hear it for Katie Chaos! Her birthday is the 3rd of May, and I wrote this song for her, but also for the eternal feminine that revealed herself to me in the goose. When I was young, a stranger in town, I went looking to get led astray. Back in the days when I had sorrows to drown, before I met the Queen of the May. I've been blessed been cursed with many a wild one. Sometimes I had my wicked ways. Back in the days when I had something to prove, before I met the Queen of the May. I was playing the field, I was playing the part. Always had a weakness for a talk with a heart. Oh, my heart once was blown like a ship in the storm, with no sign of a sheltering bay. And I bless the mad girls who held my soul warm before I met the Queen of the May. I was out in the cold, I was out on a limb, I was killing time waiting for the dance to begin. Oh, I courted danger in the back rooms of bars. I ran debts with the devil to pay. I went diving for pearls in an ocean of stars, and I found the Queen of the May. Went diving for pearls in an ocean of stars, and I found the Queen of the May. Yes, Morrison.
Suffered
Goose claimed that our mission is to reveal the sacred in the profane, the spirit in the flesh, eternity in time, which is, quite an ambition, But I think it's a better ambition than, say, wanting to be President of the United States or even Prime Minister of this small country at this moment in time. Let's send them our love. And of course, at the Vigil, let's be mindful of what's happening in this country in so many ways. What happened in Manchester yesterday. But that isn't the only form of terror that's operating in our culture. It's operating a lot in people's minds. It's dividing people. CrossBones is a place for people to come together, and nobody is excluded. This is the point. We even forgave Margaret Thatcher at those gates. That was tough. That was tough work. But it had to be done. It has to be done. As long as we've got the other to hate, it'll carry on and on and on. If you'd like to speak at the Vigil, I will call you at the Vigil, please. I'm in the zone. Forgive me. So, we are in the zone. I'm going to end with a poem I hardly ever perform, but it suddenly came to me, I have to do this poem. And then I think we're going to move out into the street where we belong, because this is the place of the dead, and they're only allowing us here, really. It's their generosity. We give thanks to them for accommodating us. But now we're going to go back into the street in a few minutes, where we traditionally come to honour them, because we're about to begin the 156th Vigil for the Outcast. Dead and alive. It started as the Vigil for the Outcast dead, but then we were honest enough to realise we're also doing it for ourselves and for anyone who wants to come. That's what it's for. It's for everything. And then we even began to suspect that maybe, just maybe, it's also for the unborn. So that keeps the magic going. We promised you magic. It's up for you in your hearts to feel whether you've discovered a bit today. I certainly have, listening just to these other fabulous creative people, and there are so many more, and indeed we might be here all night if everybody wants to do their poem, but I know there's 2 or 3 I've already am expecting to perform at the gates. So yeah, there's more to come, but the key is, you see, I was saying at the start, silence, shining emptiness. We've had poets performing with planes going over and trains coming past and clinking and clanking. Well, that's what we do at CrossBones. We could have a big sound system here, but it wouldn't be the same, because we'd be like the Jubilee Line extension, in my humble opinion. We'd be raising the dead, and not in a good way. And having so far got away with raising the goose, I would like to keep it like that. So this poem is said with humour, because she has a sense of humour. And this is a poem that was inspired by a completely strange event. A man was arrested, Anthony Noel Kelly, for stealing human body parts. He was an artist. He was kind of trying to be, I think in his own way, he was trying to be respectful of this, but he was misunderstood and arrested. And he was at Southwark Court. It was the 3rd of April, 1998. Whatever it was, that night I had a visionary attack. The goose really saw this as an opportunity to tell a bit of her story that she doesn't normally tell, because the whole of her stories is in the poems of the Southwark Mysteries, but some of them are more respectful than others. This one's, there's nothing rude about it, really, but it goes like this. True, my lad, we know all about the Borough boys, but this is no ordinary case of missing body parts. These heretics harbour no relics. There are no crosses in their boneyard, no fingers in the deep freeze, no telltale bleeding hearts. The evidence is purely circumstantial, unconfirmed reports. A cross fell out of the sky in Bermondsey. Some monk from the Abbey. Sounds more like a case of care in the community. Be that as it may, we have reasons to believe there may be grounds for charges of conspiracy. In a literal sense, blood, a breathing together, communion of whores, the outlaw rites of St. Mary, Ovary. In repetition of a well-turned spell. By bell, book, guttering candle, by voices, by secret pathways, walked and spoken aloud. Blood, bandaged, Magdalene echo in the empty tomb. I hope you realise all this is an active blessing. We're in ritual space, of course. I think technically the vigil has already begun at the gates. It's beginning, it's the exact second. Now I've rung the chimes, so we're up to speed. We just have to get there in ritual space. It's not that hard. So I'll need some help. I'll need the deep southern songstress. The protector of the absolutely hopeless. So it's up to you. I certainly happily follow her. In Mexico, she is the protectress of the street. So we'll walk behind her, but to make things gentle for the rest of the world, here's Our Lady of Guadalupe, the patron saint of Mexico, who we Brits of various origins are very happy to march behind. As you know, we are all faiths and none here, but we certainly respect Our Lady in all her forms, in all our works. I think we're ready to follow Joe.
Yeah.
And while we follow you, Joe, because we're already in ritual. Oh, Jennifer. Oh, ribbons. Shall we have some ribbons now, my darling? Jen and Katie, would you hand out the ribbons? See, we're assembling in ritual space, aren't we? We're all getting ready, but we're not sort of phasing out. We're not even taking selfies. I'm not looking at anybody. But oh yes. If you're on Facebook, we have a CrossBones page. It's a picture of that. We've got the American series. Also our website. And yeah, if you share on Facebook, don't throw on those look up John CrossBones and the Diese. You'll find us. In the right place. So please, yeah, we'd love to have evidence of this event. No, we haven't finished. I'm in ritual space. You can say things to me in ritual space, Dom. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. But you can all clap your hand. Max clap your hand. That's lovely. That's enough. Let's march behind Joe. Oh, no, hang on. We're not marching. How about before we do that, everyone picks up their chairs, or if they're not able to do that, someone comes and helps them pick up a chair. Jen, if you get some ribbons, we'll pass some ribbons around. Are you happy holding Our Lady?
Yes, I very much.
That's lovely. So all remember Our Lady is watching. So we're doing the ribbons now, Jen. We're doing the ribbons now.
Yes.
Okay, so Jen's passing among you. That's brilliant. Be careful with these, the way they snap back. That's it. You should be all right now. I'll hold it by the clear top.
I'm going to stand at the top of the goose wing and they can take them as they go past.
All right, Jen. All right, yeah, that's fine. We haven't processing yet. Chairs coming through first. Let the chairs through first, please. This is brilliant. Can somebody help perhaps with this? You do need to be careful because you don't want to get your head out suddenly. Well done. A practice check for their chip chairs, aren't they, in a way? We'll watch them. Thank you very much for all. Hello. Lovely to see you. Right, so are we assembled? Yeah, I can just go to the gate. Oh, they're coming out into the street. Oh, I thought. Oh, Marianne. out the rattle at the gate. Okay. I need to rattle at the gate. In fact, I'll have the rattle now, because that's very good for the procession. I'll have it the other way. Okay, so is the front gate open?
Should be. I'm hoping.
Can you just check there? Can you see if the front gate is open and then come back to join the procession?
And anyone who hasn't signed in yet.
Oh, Katie, if they haven't signed now, they'll have to write to us. Okay, where's, right, so, no, I should walk behind Our Lady, Joe, I think, with the rest of us. If you would start processing. Anyway, do you want to get behind Our Lady, folks? You don't want to be ahead of Our Lady, hey?
And when we are tying our ribbons to the gate, tie yourself to the gate. Just touch the gate. Give yourself You can always do that next time, I think.
Hello.
There are 3 more. After that, you're going to use your imagination and just tie yourselves to the gate. Thank you, sir. Lucky last. Tie yourselves to the gate. There are no ribbons left, ladies and gentlemen. Please be kind enough to use your imaginations and tie yourselves to the gate.
What?
There you are, the invisible ribbons. I'm handing out the invisible ribbons.
Psychic ribbons.
Sorry, of course. Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
Invisible ribbons. Invisible ribbons. Why didn't I think of that? How silly am I? Thank you. I'll hang yours round you. Oh, between your teeth. An invisible ribbon for you, sir? Have you got your own invisible
Sorry,
ribbon?
we're closing. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's like the last day.
Yeah, so John wrote it and then, yeah, we can yeah, John comes the guy,
Yeah, please do. Please come along if you like what you see today. 22nd of June. It's nice to want 2 week run. Excellent, thank you. Do you want to do? Yeah. It's a new activity, so just before we start, show what it's
It's not, but it's not. So,
I'm Mr. Jimmy. We're excited. Should be intense, good, but really
You live in London?
Yeah, I'm North London at the moment, but that's great.
I was thinking, it's really realistic.
That's good, that's what I aim for, inanimate.
Oh, my video. Well done.
Thank you.
Riddle in a madcap rhyme, here to reveal my mystery. In London town at the end of time, Johnny go down on history. John Crow in Cathedral Yard, cursed with my gift of prophecy. Here to play one last wild card for Southwark and her liberty. With a hey ho, a jolly Jack Crow and his merry, merry band of outlaws, oh, never stumble when he trips, mad clown of the apocalypse. And some go, oh ho, who be this John Crow, this nobody rootless shaman, oh, kicking loose heels where the rank weeds grow, wild in our Southwark havens. And then the crow on the gargoyle, ah, ah, ah. And he draw John a map of infinity, where God rejoices more in the brazen whore than in the wife in her pinch-faced chastity. With a knick-knack, paddy-whack, give the dog a Bible black, John Crow whores are hollering. In the sack, on your back, give the skull a good crack, see if it's a hollow one. Click, clack, don't look back to see if deaths are following. For tonight in hell, they are tolling the bell for the whore that lay at the tavern. And well we know how the carrion crow doth feast in our CrossBones graveyard. With a hey-ho, a jolly Jack Crow and his merry, merry band of outlaws, oh, never stumble when he trips, mad clown of the poca, hey-ho, a jolly Jack Crow and his merry, merry band of outlaws, oh, never stumble when he trips, mad clown of the poca, hey-ho, a jolly Jack Crow and his merry, merry band of outlaws, oh. But as I say, this is certainly no longer only about me, or even only about our fabulous performers, although we're hoping to lure them on. But I think first, let's just to show what we mean, what we say. Did you want to say something?
Yes, I had a song to sing.
Would you like to sing your song? What's your name?
Sarah.
Sarah.
Yeah.
We met at the gate.
Yes, we did. You met
I surprised
right,
you.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
And I really shocked you.
Yes, you did.
Yes.
I was communing with some of the souls who
You
were
were.
did.
So this is my act of contrition.
Yes, and this is a song for all of us, and I offer it now in the spirit of forgiveness. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha Lord. Hi-yo, Lord, the Lord. Hi-yo, Lord, say Lord. Hi-yo, Lord, say Lord. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Lord, Eloah, Eloah. Lord, Eloah, Eloah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
Beautiful illustration of why we're here.
Allah is usually left untranslated. People say Allah is the greatest. But Allah also has a meaning, and the most direct, sort of the most sensible meaning for us is oneness. So it's a call to oneness. Oneness is the greatest. There's no God greater than oneness.
With you there. So, we're going to, as I say, have some more of our incredible people who you saw performing inside. There's just so many, we didn't even have everybody.
Here's one. Here's one.
Here's one, okay. Bring forth the one.
I am the one.
Oh, you are the one.
I am the one. I'm afraid.
I was supposing her to be the gardener.
Thank you, everybody. John thinks I'm going to give you one of my CrossBones haiku, but I'm not. The goose has got me. And I'd like to tell you a quick story about my great-great-great-grandfather, who in 1841 was a fishmonger in Covent Garden. But he also, at 28 years old, had a second job. He was a brothel keeper. And on the 1st of December, a drunken punter came to the door demanding a bed, a room for the night for him and his woman. And Joseph Love, my great-great-great-grandfather's servant, as she was called in those days, Sally, called him to wake him up to see if she could eject the chap. He tried to eject him, and the man was so drunk he started a fight, and he smashed my great-great-great-grandfather's head against the wall, and my great-great-great-grandfather dropped to the ground saying, "Oh, I am a murdered man." We know this because of the newspaper reports of the time. He left his wife, Sarah Baxter, with 3 children. She was 21 years old the year before they'd married. When she was 21, she had 3 children. She'd started having babies for him at the age of 14. Instead of my haiku, I would like to, it's really no wonder why I love CrossBones so much. I saved my ribbon. My ribbon is for my great-great-great-grandfather, who was murdered on the 1st of December 1841, and his widow, Sarah Baxter. Joseph Love.
Thank you, Jennifer. Yeah, it's the real stories, isn't it? And look, the offerings that people bring, the beautiful things that people create, like Barnes created this evening, and this beautiful magical doll, protector of pathways. And so I'm just looking at this instant at Marianne as I'm thinking, I'd love to hear you sing another song. Hey.
Oh God, okay, thank you. Okay, I'll do my best.
And I'd love you too. Are you okay at the moment? You're not rushing?
Can I do one?
Yeah, we might be here all night, but that's all right with me. No, we haven't met. Lovely to meet you. Of course you can do one.
There's my vision. Others your interest quickly. Surprise, a trend affection has not ever told you I would. Take a walk through the wide wood and just watch me fade to blanch. Just watch me fade to the sky so pretty. Wish I could call that on the rocket never comes down. But I'm just one of those poor relations that you read about. Like none ever told you I would. Take a walk through the wide wood and just watch me fade to black. Just watch me fade to. It's like a piece of eternity fell into our hands. You make my mouth water. You do, honey lamb. Cause no one ever told you. Oh, come on over here like I told you. Watch me. Hey, you on the precision bench in the department of spare parts. There's so much confusion in this world. But this heart has none ever told you I would. Wow, take a walk through the wide wood and just watch me fade to black. Just watch me fade to black. Just watch me fade to black.
Fabulous, thank you. So you see, we're having a great time. I've already, during that song, I had at least 3 people tell me they're going to do something. So, and I haven't forgotten you, I haven't forgotten. But I first got to make a public service announcement, because you remember I was telling you, Jennifer is not only a warden, she's a goose samurai. The warden is somebody who's working for Bankside Open Spaces Trust, very important job, to open the garden. The goose samurai is somebody who is guarding people engaged in this kind of ritual work on the street. Because you can imagine, we put ourselves in we're out here. And originally we used to have to dodge trucks to stay alive because we don't want to add to the dead. The first time we came here for the Halloween of CrossBones to rededicate the site as holy ground, the police showed up. Luckily, Katie, come here. We had Goose Samurai. We had a Goose Samurai like Katie is, and the Goose Samurai is there to protect us because we've got so many anarchists in our group that the easy thing is to say, look, this is a Goose Samurai, she serves the goose. So whatever she says, we do it. And it's not like, yeah, we're free. We're still free. So that it makes it easy. So we used to have to police it, but now we've got the road closed. But that, of course, means that a Goose Samurai has to spend the whole vigil up there. Unless there's somebody here who actually really gets what we're doing here, and that it isn't just about watching John Crow go crazy every 23rd, and the rest of the performers. It is a performance, but it's a holy performance. The really highest work is the Goose Samurai who protects us from death. I'm only the street shaman. The Goose Samurai is the real thing. Have we got any volunteers? Oh, look. Okay, well, you three, 2 for now. One of those 2 gentlemen. This is Phil. I know you want to do something. So, do you want to do it first, Clive? Yeah. So you two, are you 2 happy?
Yeah,
and tell Jen to come back.
Jen.
One of you can take Jen's. Oh no, do we need her? Oh, it's okay. You'll be all right. Okay, and those of you still here, by the way, if anybody wants to sit down, do feel free. If any of you, I mean, it's a dirty street, but hey, we won't think any worse of you. But now, yeah, I'd like to invite as I say, many poets here. Nia, would you come? What's your other name?
Davis.
Nia Davis, who's a published poet. She might be. I didn't know your work,
That's
but
okay.
MAMTA told me.
I'm working with MAMTA.
Well,
we're on the
We
road.
are collaborating.
We're on the road together.
That's good enough for me.
So this is a riddle for CrossBones. The riddle's answer is the underbelly. 4 dangling holes, 4 teeth, 4 sweet brothers. Earth's magnified tonight. It's laminate, humming at udder muscle frequency. We came from Lion's Eye and ride away like night giants. 4 suckling things, a terrace of creatures, a helm, a hand in a uterus. We're purchased buttons and spilled sprats. We're like you, anywhere you want us. We leak ghost spit, purple borage bruise, hard or heavenly bread or scooped out manna, it all comes from us. Where is the sun I never see? We live in a chandlery on the face of things, and then we sob in sweat.
Oh. That's beautiful, thank you. When we finally get it together to do the CrossBones anthology, which I think we've got to do sometime,
Yeah.
we'd like that one, please.
Very, very pleased to be part of it.
Fantastic. That's fantastic. What's your name? Claudina, are you ready for your moment? Yeah. Well, I think Claudina's ready for her moment. Yay!
Hi, yeah. Well, it's my first time at CrossBones, but I've been really touched by everything that you're doing here, John. It's just really inspiring, and you're an amazing inspiration. And I was thinking about what I might add to it, and I was just thinking about what it would have been like for the women here. And when you're alone, the first thing you want is your mother. And I just thought what it's like to feel like you're a motherless child. So I thought that I might just sing a verse of that. So. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child, a long way from home. Sometimes I feel like I'm almost gone. Sometimes I feel like I'm almost gone. Sometimes I feel like I'm almost gone. And I'm a long way from home. I'm a long, long way from home.
See what happens when you invite the right kind of magic. It happens. You just create the place for it. I'm remembering people. I am remembering people. Is Phil still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Phil, you wanted to.
Okay.
You know there's a lot, so
Yeah,
keep
I
it
know.
tight.
I'll be quick.
Keep it tight. That's good.
Bear with me for 1 second. It's lyrics, so I don't know if you're going to know them. You probably will. I've got it on the phone. I didn't have enough time to write it down. So are you ready for this? You're probably going to know it. I think it's... okay, here we go. Dirty old river, must you keep rolling, flowing into the night? People so busy make me feel dizzy. Taxi light shines so bright. But I don't need no friends. As long as I gaze on Waterloo sunset, I am in paradise. Every day I look at the world from my window, but chilly, chilly is evening time. Waterloo sunset's fine. Terry meets Julie, Waterloo Station, every Friday night. But I am so lazy, don't want to wander, I stay at home at night. But I don't feel afraid as I gaze on Waterloo sunset, I am in paradise. Every day I look at the world from my window, but chilly, chilly is evening time. Waterloo sunset's fine. Millions of people swarming like flies. Waterloo underground. But Terry and Julie cross over the river where they feel safe and sound. And they don't need no friends. As long as they gaze on Waterloo sunset, they are in paradise. Waterloo sunset's fine. London town. There you go.
Like many people here, Phil, you've been going through the mill, I know. So many people come to CrossBones for their own reasons, their own kind of lives, broken and mending and healing. We're all in process. It's the place of the imperfect ones, not the ascended masters. So would you do something for us? And what's your name again?
I'm Mervyn.
Mervyn. Mervyn. Mervyn I've only just met as well. So we're just... Oh, when did we meet? Oh, wow. Oh, I lost them.
It's just since the last time I was here, I've lost them. Because
it's coming back, it's coming back.
I had a bit of an aneurysm, so I had to shave off all my bit.
Wow.
But I'm a very wicked boy. Anyway, this is my red ukulele.
Yay.
It's a socialist ukulele. It doesn't like conservatives. Last year, after having a hole drilled in my head 5 years ago,
which meant I thought I wouldn't play any music ever again. I used this ukulele to write a song called Words That Shouldn't Be Put Together, which was all about a certain Prime Minister that had a really, really, really dodgy taste for porn, David Cameron. And when I used to sing it, when I released it on January 1st, before I finished singing it, most of the room would join in because of the chorus was the Cameron cock wobble and Jeremy Hunt's hoof wanking bunker. There was also a verse about the current Prime Minister and a resemblance to a character from a Jerry Anderson series called Terribles. Anyway, things being a bit ill, and I promised my friends last year that I would do some voodoo to change some things and not to worry, because all I'd done was shuffle the members of government around to positions where they would fuck up the most. And there will be an election later on this year. It's all to do with other dodgy things, I think, like a bit of magic and making deals at Crossroads with certain people like Santa. Anyway, I wrote a new song about our dear Prime Minister. So I'm going to perform that for you now, because after yesterday's events, she might gain some support, and we wouldn't want that, would we?
Says it all in so few words. Magnificent.
Well, we don't want to overdo these things.
Okay, now are you ready to follow that? Blimey, you are. Jazz. This is jazz like the music.
Yes. Well, you don't have to guess far what country I'm from. But I just want to dedicate this song to the victims yesterday and the people that are buried here and people that feel lost. So, God be in my head and in my understanding. God be in my eyes and in my looking. God be in my mouth and in my speaking.
got this incredible professional, professional. We're all professionals here, aren't we? We're all working girls at these gates, especially me. But how about something from, Kirsten Morrison's looking like she might be moved. Are you ready to give us something? Yeah. Fantastic. Kirsten Morrison.
This is a setting of a poem by Lizzie Siddle, who was an artist, model and poet married to Rossetti. And they lived just over the river from here at Chatham Place, which was demolished and turned into Blackfriars Station. So they would have known this area too. And she sadly died from a laudanum overdose in 1862. She was a very troubled soul, and it's a really interesting story if you have time to look her up of what happened to her. But I think she's a bit of an overlooked female poet. And in this poem, Gone, she was foreshadowing her own death and what's left behind. To touch the glove upon her tender hand, to watch the jewels sparkle in her ring, lifted my heart into a sudden song, as when the wild birds sing. To touch her shadow on the sunny grass, to break her pathway through the darkened wood, filled all my life with trembling and tears, and silence where I stood. I watched the shadows gather round my heart. I long to know that she is gone, 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 gone forever, like the tender love that left the ark alone. That left the ark alone.
Fantastic. So, who we got next? MAMTA SAGAR. The Indian chapter. Friends of CrossBones.
Okay, this poem will be in Kannada and there won't be a translation really. Pia Pia Pihu Pihu ತೋಳ ತುಂಬ ಕಡಲ ತುಂಬಿಕೊಂಡು ಜಿಗಿದ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯ ಆಳದಿಂದ ಆಲೆ ಆಲೆ ಲಯ ತಪ್ಪಿ ಹೊಸ ರಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಡಲು ಮುಳುಗಿ ಕಡಲಲ್ಲಿ ಸೂರ್ಯ ಮುಳುಗಿ ಚಂದ್ರ ತಾರೆಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಮುಳುಗಿ ಮುಳುಗಿ ಮೋಡಗಳು ಒಂದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಡಿಕ್ಕಿ ಹೊಡೆದು ಕಡಲೊಡಲಲ್ಲಿ ಗುಡು 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 ಸಿಡಿ ಸಿಡಿ ಸಿಡಿಲು ಕಡಲ ಮೈ ಮಿಂಚು ಕೈ ಬೀಸಿ ಜಟಕೆದರಿ ನಭೋ ಎಂದು ಭೂಮಂಡಲದ ತುಂಬ ಹಾಡ ಚೆಲ್ಲಿದವನು ಜಗದಗಲ ಮುಗಿಲಗಲ ಹೊರಟು ನಿಂತವನ ಜಗ ಮುಗಿಲನ್ನೇ ತಪ್ಪಿದ ಹಾಗೆ ತಬ್ಬಿ ತಬ್ಬಿ ಬೊಗಸೆ ತುಂಬ ಪ್ರೀತಿ ತುಂಬಿಕೊಂಡು ಕಣ್ಣ ತುಂಬ ಕಡಲ ತುಂಬಿಕೊಂಡು ಬಳಸಿ ತಪ್ಪಿತು ಕಡಲು ಜಗ ಮುಗಿಲನ್ನೇ ತಪ್ಪಿದ मोरा रूम रूम सुर देते हैं बाजत नाम तिहार ರೋಮ ರೋಮ ರಾಗ ನುಡಿಸಿದ ಹಾಗೆ ಕಡಲಿಗೆ ತುಟಿಯಿಟ್ಟು ಆವರಿಸಿ ಬಿಟ್ಟ ಕತ್ತಲಲ್ಲಿ ಕತ್ತಲ ಚೆಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲಕಿ ಕಡಲ ಕನಸು ಕಲಕಿ ಕಡಲ ಕನಸು ಪಿಯ ಪಿಯ ಪಿಹು ಪಿಹು ಅಳುತ್ತಿತ್ತು ಮನಸ್ಸು ಹುಣ್ಣಿಮೆಯ ರಾತ್ರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ರಾಗಗಳ ಹೆಕ್ಕಿ ಹೆಕ್ಕಿ ಅಲೆ ಅಲೆ ಉಮ್ಮಳಿಸಿ ಬಿಕ್ಕಿ ಬಿಕ್ಕಿ ರೋಧಿಸಿತು ಕಡಲು ನಿದ್ದೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಿದ್ದೆ ಇಲ್ಲದ ಮುಗಿಲ ಕಣ್ಣು ಕೆಂಪು ಸುಡು ಸುಡು ಸೂರ್ಯ ಒಡೆದೊಡೆದು ಚೂರು ಚೂರು ಚಂದ್ರ ಕರಗಿ ಹರಿದು ಕಡಲ ತುಂಬ ನೀರು ಕಣ್ಣೀರು. It's a love poem between music and the ocean.
So we're getting into the home straight. There's definitely 2 or 3 more coming from us that I know about. Is there any real urgent communications that we must not thwart? Yeah? Come and do it now.
So this one I thought was appropriate because it's called The Goddess.
It's Rebecca.
Yes.
Hello, Rebecca. Rebecca Sharman.
Thank you. I feel it's really amazing to be here and see the CrossBones and see the Shahs just lifting out, and that we've been able to save this place and really have a place to calm and honour the dead. And we have this terrible connection with the dead and the people who have died, and actually our ancestors, we are the ancestors of our future generations. And when we remember that, we realise how important we are right now and how our ancestors are so important to remind us of that. The Goddess. The Goddess has awakened because she feels forsaken by humanity's insanity. And as she awakes, she shakes her fist in the air in despair at what we've forgotten, because now we are rotten to the core. We can't hear her thaws through our snores as she abhors our selfish flaws, because the clock has struck, but we're still deep in the muck. And if you already feel perturbed by these goddesses' words, it's because they are true and they are speaking to you, not the ego-centered part, straight to your heart. You see, we put the cart before the horse, being forced to believe that we only receive when we feed the need to appease our greed. This mad idea is fueled by fear, ignited by the powers that be, that do not want us to be free. So they committed emotional tyranny, and they silenced our voices, but we think we still have choices. We're distracted to buy useless things and never bring the peace of mind we crave to find. Addicted to buying more and more stuff, but we never seem to have enough. So we throw away and buy more crap, just to fill the empty gap. But nothing fills the deep dark hole that consumes us body, mind and soul. Yet we follow this game with unbelievable pain and no conceivable gain. And because we're so vain, we've ignored the mystical teachers that have come before. So we still remain spiritually poor. But now it's time to wake the fuck up and realise it's all become great big con to keep us wanting to hold on. We're clutching the illusion so goddamn tight, terrified of reality's bite. And now we've nearly lost the fight. We're so used to being raped and abused, we've remained maimed, shamed, dazed and confused. But as the goddess awakes and shakes us out of our fearful slumber, we open our eyes in awe and wonder as we hear the thunder of the guns that are ripping us asunder. And we begin to understand it's time to unite and make a stand and start to live hand in hand. Brothers and sisters, it's time to see the truth of reality. Acknowledge our fragility. Although we try to stay alive, all we do is seem to survive while the truth remains hidden inside. So let go of your pride and need for external stimulation, except it's all been mental masturbation. For love of self is the ultimate goal, and the unity of body, mind and soul. Everything else is just an illusion, masquerading as the solution. And if you still feel perturbed by these goddesses' words, it's because we don't have to be caged birds, except we are just evolving continuity and fly to fifth dimensional fluidity, where everything is energy, matter and flow, and unrestricted we can grow. But in order to reach that wonderful plane, there is only one path to finish this game. So open your eyes and begin to see that loving yourself, that loving yourself, that loving yourself is the only way to be. And the power of love that's within you and me is really the goddess leading us to our divinity.
Cunning folk.